There guys, Ken here, your Thrifty Apprentice, and in this video we are going to be putting together my 2023 Watercolor Travel Kit. I was kind of playing around with this and I decided I'd throw the camera on and share this with you guys. It's going to be kind of all over the place, so you guys are just going to kind of have to go with me. I'm using supplies from around the house. If you decide you want to give this a try, I'm pretty sure that you have things in your stash already that you'll be able to use, because everything is pretty basic and straightforward. So first things first, I wanted to do a little watercolor travel palette. So I have this little plastic box here. I forget where it come from. I think maybe it had some little mini spools of thread in it or something. I don't know. I can't remember, in all honesty. But what I did was I took a piece of cardstock and I measured out the inside of the container, the inside of the lid, and the outside of the lid. So that's what you see here. Print is just letting me know what side I want up to attach the print to. So that's the top, and this is the bottom, but I don't think I need that piece. This is the inside, so that I'll be able to have a little area to mix on. Okay, and then for the very bottom, I cut the pattern out of cardstock, or the template out of cardstock, and then I traced that cardstock onto a piece of cardboard and cut it out so that it'll fit in the bottom, just to give it a little bit more stability and a little height for what I'm going to be attaching the palettes to. So, or attaching the pans to, I'm sorry. For my pans, I'm using water bottle caps. These are just, I've been saving different bottle caps, so I figured for this little set, these would work really well. So I have 5 here. So we're going to be using 5 colors in this little set. And then I have some E6000. I was going to use hot glue, but I didn't feel like plugging up that hot glue gun. So I have E6000, and that's what's going to be used to adhere everything. So let's see how we're going to do this. Oh, and lastly, for the patterns in there, I have some leftover gel prints. Now, you can use pattern paper. You can create something if you want to. It just so happened that I did some gel printing and I had some leftover prints, and I figured that, you know, they were kind of abstract and grungy and grindy. And I use like reds and yellows and whites. That's why you see the pinks. And then of course I used some black too, but I had fun doing those. I figured I'd use those in order to decorate this little travel kit. And I'll let you guys see me put the watercolor section of that together. So now, been talking for about 3 or 4 minutes. Let's get to working. Okay, so here I am taking the gel printed cardstock. I've cut a piece of it off, and I am tracing the cardboard piece that I made to go in the bottom of the palette. I'm just going to take some long straight scissors and cut that out. We'll fit that into the bottom. And of course I need to now cut another piece for the top of the cardboard. And I just made sure to lay that on a part of the pattern that I wanted to be showing, which you're going to see very shortly what happens. So in all honesty, I really kind of wasted my time. So when we get to that particular point of the video, I'm going to be sure to point it out so you guys will know not to make the small error that I made. So here you'll see that I put the bottom piece of the cardstock that I cut down. I'm going to use some tape and line the cardboard, press it down. Then I'll use tape to line the top piece and press it down. Now, here's where the mistake was made. So now I take E6000 and I'm going to lay down a complete even layer of glue. And I'm doing this in order to have something to hold my bottle caps in and to hold the cardboard and the designed cardstock into the bottom of the palette. Well, at least that was my thought. Well, what you're going to see a little later on is that the glue is actually going to eat that cardboard up and distort the color. Now, it's not going to turn out looking terrible, but this would be a step where I would suggest that, maybe not using the cardstock pattern in the bottom that you're going to cover with the glue, because that E6000, if that's what you choose to use to hold it in, is going to eat that cardboard. Now, you may have an adhesive on hand that won't damage artwork or damaged cardboard if you want to use that. I was scared to use hot glue, just after thinking about it, just due to the fact that it may melt the little plastic container that I was using. So I decided to go with the E6000. But if I ever do this again, I won't use the gel printed card under the E6000 because it's going to eat it up. Now, what you saw me do was take the white template that I had cut as the mixing area, put some tape on it. I taped it to the inside of the lid. Now I am using the little template that I cut for the top of the lid. I'm tracing more of that gel printed cardstock and I'm cutting it out. I'm going to put some tape on it, and then I'm going to place that on top of the lid. I'm going to have to do a little adjusting, and you may have to, if you have to trim some areas or a little side off here and there in order to make what you're doing fit, don't be scared. Jump right in. That's the whole point, is to, customize this to be exactly the way you want it. So I got that laid down, and that is actually going to complete the little palette part. I'm going to set that to the side, and we're going to move on to putting together the pages for the journal and covering it. So I took 11 by 14, 11 by 14, 90 pound cold press mixed media paper. That's from the universal pad. It's carried by Jerry's Autorama. So I pulled actually 4 pieces out. Now, I've already made 3 other partitions, but I'm going to show you guys how I do this one. So with my bone folder, I folded that paper in half both ways. Now I'm going to take it, fold it in half horizontally, and then fold back each side. And you're going to see me take the bone folder and, press down each side as I fold it back. I'll flip it over and I'll fold back the opposite side. Again, grabbing the bone folder, I'm just going to press that crease down and make sure that it's sharp. Now, open up the complete paper, and then I'm going to take a straight ruler, lay it down on that center line, and then grabbing a X-Acto knife, I'm going to cut from the top section throughout the entirety of the paper, the entire length of the paper. And as you can see there, that top part is not cut. Now you pick it up, you fold it down, and then you'll fold in each side, and you'll see you'll have accordion paper. Now that's going to be, it's going to have a fold or a gap in the middle, which we're going to have to tape together. So I'm just going to tape it on both sides and the bottom, and when you close it together, it actually gives you a little pocket there that you can store things in. Now, I ran out of tape, so in order to put all of the petitions together, I grabbed some Mod Podge. Now, you can use, again, whatever glue you want to. I just used really, really thin layer of Mod Podge in order to paste all of those petitions together after I folded them all and made them. And as you'll see, once I get this last bit of glue on and glue this section to it, there we go. I'm going to press it down, and then I'm going to use the bone folder just to make sure that everything is together. And as you can see, it opens up into a really nice accordion watercolor journal. Now I'm going to cover it using the gel print that was on the regular typing paper. I'm going to cover this journal just like you would cover an old school book, if you guys remember that. So I centered it up in the middle of the paper and just measured up to the end where I needed to fold. Use my bone folder to crease that. And now I'm going to center it back into the middle of the cover and, you know, just finagle it so I get each of the pieces folded to wrap around the book. This is actually really simple to do, and it's a really quick and cool way to easily bind pages together. Now, once I have all of that folded and creased, I'm just going to grab the very end of each side of that journal, tuck it into the sides of the cover, and there you have it. A really nice, really cute accordion journal. I love the fact that it'll open up into like 1 page, 2 page, 3 pages, 4 pages at a time so that you can paint like really long scenes. That's the reason that I love these journals. Um, so here I'm just doing a little adjusting on the cover because it was off just a little bit. It had some sticking over the edge, so I just wanted to do a little adjusting there. You know, and play with it. You can use pattern paper. You can use gel printed paper if you gel print. You can use grocery bag. You can use a large sheet of copying paper. It'll all work. So now I'm going back to the palette, and I'm going to use packaging tape to cover the piece that we put on top, and I'm also going to use it to wrap around to the inside. Now what this is going to do is make the inside waterproof. That way I'll be able to use that as a little mixing area when I need to. When you're doing this technique, just, you know, you're going to have to fight with the tape a little bit, as you see me doing, but just work with it till you can get it as smooth into each of those nooks and crannies as you can. There I cut off some excess tape and wrap the part that I was working with on around, you know, just for a little extra security. And then I used some tape to just measure everything up, get it all nice and neat. And now we're going to move on to filling that palette with paints. Now my color selection here is pretty straightforward. I'm using a lemon yellow that is by Camel Artist Watercolor. I'm going to be using a red matter that is by Mission Gold. I'm sorry, Rose Matter by Mission Gold. I'm using Phthalo Blue Green shade that's by Core Artist Watercolors. So that's from 3 different professional sets. Here I'm going to be using a burnt umber. Now that is from Phoenix Artist Watercolor. Now that's probably the most student paint that I put in this little set. They are Winsor & Newton Coppin, basically. And lastly, I'm going to add Core Payne's Gray. Okay, guys, so here we are with everything finished to put into the watercolor kit. Now, this is my DIY watercolor kit for 2023, and I will be doing a painting with everything that is in this kit in an upcoming video if you guys would like to stay tuned for that. So you remember we made the watercolor palette itself. Now I do want to make note of the fact that E6000 ate the cardstock that was under it up, so that may be something you guys don't do because it did distort. It's sort of orangey brownish color. Not the best looking thing, but it's okay. It's not terrible. It did dry hard, and the paints are going to work fine. The rest of the palette looks wonderful. Oop, I'm not turning it upside down. I forgot some of those paints are still wet. But yeah, the palette looks wonderful. Came out nice. Gonna love that. You guys saw the journal made from the gel print paper. You know, I'm curious, how many of you got do any of you guys gel print? I like it. I actually find that I like it a lot. I'm just curious if anybody else out there do it. Let me know in the comment section. I'm really interested in it. So the accordion style journal will open up into 1 page. You can paint on 2 pages. Some instances you can paint on 3 pages or even 4 pages at a time if you want. That's what I love about the accordion journals. This is my favorite style. And off camera, I made a pencil box. Now, there's a million videos out there on how to make a box, guys. If you want me to show you this, I don't mind. Just let me know and I'll show you in an upcoming video at some point. But I just took the leftover cardstock from the piece that I cut for the top and the bottom of the palette and made a box. And in this box, I have a black fine liner, a pencil with an eraser, and a white gel pen. There are 12 color pencils, actually 6 pencils, but they're duo pencils, so it's 12 colors. That is by Prang. I have those in order to enhance some of the compositions I do on the go, or to use those to just stitch and draw with if I choose to. So we're going to put the top back on that. And then there's one final thing that I'm going to be putting in the kit, which, before I tell you, we have to look at what's in here. You saw me put in Camel Artist Watercolor Lemon Yellow. That is Mission Gold Matter Rose Matter for the red. The blue is Core Watercolor Phthalo Blue Green shade. The brown is Burnt Umber by Phoenix Artist Watercolor. And then I also added Payne's Gray by Core Watercolor. Now, this is a very different and kind of diverse palette for me from normal colors that I use. So this is really going to push me and challenge me to paint while, to think outside the box while I'm on the go. Love that. But because those are all those are all professional paints, I didn't want to just have professional paints in here. So I'm also going to be adding this fan palette of Royal and Langnickel 18 color fan palette. Now this is actually white label by Superior, so I mean, more than likely you guys probably have a palette like this or seen a palette like this. So I'm going to also be throwing that palette over into my kit, and I will be zipping it up. Oh well, there we go. I'll be zipping it up, and that is the kit that I'll be painting with on the go throughout this year. So as I said earlier, I will be putting a video up doing paintings from this kit coming up soon, so you guys will be able to actually see it in use. If I ever use it on the go or on travel, I'll probably shoot YouTube shorts to put up about it, just so again you can see it in use. And yeah, so guys, if you saw, heard, find anything interesting, anything you like in this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share the video. Remember that sharing is caring, and there may be someone else who wants to see this information. You can follow us and like us on the Thrifty Apprentice Facebook page, TikTok, as well as Instagram. Don't forget there's a link below for paints, pencils, pastels, and markers if you're interested in joining the Facebook group. There is also a link for my most recommended supplies if you're interested in that, guys. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I do believe that's it. Other than that, remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting.